From Spontaneously Combustible Studio in Cleveland, Ohio, presented by Permanently Geek, this is Uncovered, the show where we compare an original version of a song and a cover version of a song, and we try to decide which one is better. So, under this piece of cloth, there is a song that has been selected by our staff here at Permanently Geek. We don't know what's going to be under there. There is a, what term would you use to describe for the collection of songs that we have to pick from?
We have a collection of songs in the Hoppa.
The Hoppa.
Hoppa.
So, one has been selected from the Hoppa, and let's reveal what it is.
All right.
Shall we?
Who are you again?
I'm Michael McFarland.
I'm
Who are
Kevin
you?
Conaway.
You're Kevin Conaway.
This is Uncovered.
Welcome to Uncovered.
Here we go.
Oh.
Cool.
All right. So the song is Stayin' Alive, originally by the Bee Gees, covered by Capital Cities.
I like the real intimidating stare that he is giving to the Bee Gees right now. He's like staring them down.
This is the second episode that we've had the one group that's like taunting the other group. Yeah, he's just like glaring at those feathered-haired mofos from the 70s.
He is.
Well, the guy over here kind of looks like he's taking a dump.
He kinda
He's
does,
like
yeah.
exiting out stage left and like...
Yeah. Maybe he's on lookout duty for him.
Just
yeah.
make sure no one comes over here. I gotta deal with this. I gotta cut loose a deuce over here.
It's a callback.
So
speaking of callbacks,
yes,
where are you landing this week on Real Big Fish versus Aha?
I think I'm like tending towards Aha right now. It's a trend line, but I'd say I'm still like I'm it's a split decision, so
So like 51%,
49
which direction?
49 in the Aha camp.
All right.
So we're going to listen to both of these songs in their entirety. You're just going to hear short clips because we don't want that guy to glare at us.
That's true.
And we will be right back.
To a good second half of the episode, sir.
Indeed. To you as well.
Thank you, sir.
And we are back. So, Stayin' Alive is an interesting song for me because it was the song that when I was like 11 or 12 years old, I was over at my friend Alex's house. And Alex was the guy that I started playing guitar alongside him, learning to play bass, and we started our first band together, and it was adorable. You know, like you're supposed to do it. That's how it works. But
same Alex or different Alex from Play It Smash It?
different Alex.
Oh, okay.
Different Alex.
Check out Play It Smash It.
Yes, Play It Smash It. Actually, I think that the other Alex may have watched this show a few times. So hi, Alex.
Hi, Alexes.
Hi, all you Alexes out there. But my buddy Alex, we were at his parents' place. And we went into, I think it was his dad's office where he had a pretty solid record collection. And he pulled out the Bee Gees record and he put it on and started playing it. And he's like, you got to listen to this. You got to listen to this. And I listened. I was like, all right, it's kind of, it makes your head nod. He's like, that's a dude singing. I was like, what? And that was how I learned about falsetto. So this has like a special place in my heart. For that educational moment, because I was like 11 years old. My voice hadn't changed yet. I always sounded high pitched, and I hadn't realized that grown men could have voices that sounded like that. So that was it was a milestone in my developmental process and my understanding of how music and the voice works. So there's special place in my heart for Stayin' Alive. That said, the Capital Cities version is a whole lot of fun. Like
it's really cool.
And it's, listening to the two of them back to back, you commented like, wow, this feels really slow after it. Yeah. And so, when you're listening to them that way, when they're, side by side, there's a little bit it feels a little bit like slow and like a little bit like it's dragging at first, but by the end of the song, like it builds so well and
it
like
really
those
does.
layers go on.
Yeah. By the end of the song, I was just so like, If you, I have 15 different thoughts, and they're all trying to get out at the same time.
Start with number one.
So had we not listened to them back to back, I definitely would not have made that comment on the tempo, because I've listened to the Capital Cities version many times, and I love the groove that song establishes.
It's sort of like a Depeche Mode-ish groove that it gets, like that kind of like, you know, that little bit like plodding electronic vibe that just like builds and layers and crescendos to the end.
Yeah.
What's thought number two?
Thought number two is, yes, I agree that by like even now while we were listening to it, and at first it felt slow at first, by the time it got to the end, I'm very much in that groove, and I love the layering that you were talking about that they did for the song as it gets further and further on, and when it gets to that last chorus when they finally like both get into the falsetto range, and it's to quote our friend Sean Benjamin, it makes me turned.
Are you getting turned right now?
I'm getting turned
right here in the studio.
Right now, right here.
Do they allow that on YouTube?
We'll find out.
Apparently.
If you're watching it right now, they apparently allowed it.
So, I actually, I'm familiar with the Capital Cities version of this song because of you. So, every year...
You're welcome.
Yeah, well, thank you. But every year, Kevin puts out what he calls a mix album of his favorite songs from the past year. And was it 2 years back that this was included, or was it 3 years?
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look, but yeah, it was somewhere right around there.
And you saw them live, which was how you found out about this.
Exactly, rendition. Yeah. Well, they had, I'm blanking out on their big major hit
Third
now.
thing.
Yeah.
Safe and sound.
Thank you, yeah. So, you know, they had that song that was out on the radio, and they were the opening band for Fitz and the Tantrums at one of the shows where I saw them. And I'm like, yeah, cool, Capital Cities, I know that one song, and like, I'm interested to see them. Man, they blew me away with their performance, and I immediately grabbed their album from the merch table, and it became one of my favorite records that year. But also at that performance, they did this cover of Staying Alive, which is not on their album. I loved it, so I was hunting and scouring the internet, and eventually I actually found a studio version of it, and I forget where I found it. It was on a soundtrack or something, and then I think they eventually re-released the album.
Yeah, I think it said it was on an EP of some sort.
So it's out there. You can find it.
It can be found.
Yeah, but yeah, I love their version of it, and I love the vocal take on it too. Because to your point, the 70s falsetto sound that the Bee Gees are so famous for. That's very fitting with them. And if you're gonna do a cover of that song, like, are you going to go for that, or are you going to take a different stylistic take on it?
You could go two different directions. So we listened to another cover version of this that was the Alvin and the Chipmunks rendition that went the opposite direction.
Which, let's be honest, is not that far off from the Bee Gees vocal take.
That's true. It's like maybe a half octave higher, but it's not that far away. And to be honest, not a terrible version of the song either. Like I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
But you know, there were two directions that you could go with that, and they went the lower direction.
Right. Yeah. So like, if you're gonna do a legitimate serious cover of it, like let's not call the Chipmunks a legitimate serious cover.
Oh, Alvin is wounded.
Sorry, Alvin.
Just drive that knife in there and move it around a little bit.
Theodore agrees, though. He knows. He knows what they're doing. But if you're going to go for like a legitimate serious cover here in 2016 or whenever it was that they released that, are you really going to go for that crazy falsetto singing style?
If you were Beck, you would.
Yeah, I guess.
But there aren't that many people that can really get away with
pull that off.
I
think get it to sound good and modern at the same time.
Right, like the artist I think I could pull that off. I think Beck could.
Yeah.
I think The Weeknd could manage to do that and do a good job of it. But that's end of my list.
Right.
Like, yeah. That's 1, 2. Done.
And I don't think I could see The Weeknd doing this song.
I would like to see The Weeknd doing this song.
Weeknd, if you're watching, do it.
If you're watching right now,
challenge.
Get on it.
Challenge. So they didn't even try it. They went with their normal singing style, like that lower register, and I thought it sounded really, really cool
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the way they
It's got
arranged
it's
that
got a
song.
cool vibe, and I think
Yeah.
I think the slower tempo works well with the lower
It really
vocals.
does. You can still strut to it.
Yeah,
It's just a-
absolutely,
it's just
absolutely.
a slower strut.
Yep. Well, shall we reveal what
All right,
our
here we
picks
go.
were? All right, here we go.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
All
right.
right.
So I went with the original because I mentioned that little bit of nostalgia in there of like I dig the I honestly I've got a little bit of a soft spot for disco, not a very large one, but if you poke me in the right place, I'll be like, oh, I like that disco song.
we'll find
it's
it.
right about there. That's where the soft spot is. Disco. Metal.
Whoa. I thought that would have been the ska one, actually.
No, that's a little lower.
Oh. We're going to leave that one.
But yeah, there's and also I may have duetted with my brother once or twice on "Stayin' Alive" because we both actually have pretty solid like we don't use them in our normal lives. Like we both sing up on occasion.
And you don't just kind of sit around talking in falsetto?
Well, I do sometimes.
That sounded like Michael Jackson, actually.
Well, this is my real voice. I've just been putting on that. I've been putting on that low voice just to sound more serious for our viewing audience. But if if you'll accept me as I am, I can continue to speak this way. And you chose the cover.
I did choose the cover, yeah. I
For the reasons you already stated, I
I
assume.
feel like I talked up the cover quite a bit. So yeah, exactly.
So shall we take a look at what we chose for one another?
All right, so in there is what I thought Michael would pick.
Mm-hmm.
In here is what he thought I would pick. We've been keeping a running tally on these for all of season 1 of Uncovered
Yep,
here.
and I believe the score is 9-7.
9-7.
So
I started my comeback.
Yeah, he managed to pick up a point last episode.
That's
so we'll
right.
We'll see if I can manage to pick up some more momentum here. Ready?
Ready. Damn it.
Yes. So he thought I would pick Capital Cities because of the cool groove and dynamics. Incorrectly. No points for you.
And Michael did not log a vote. So
Wait a second.
Oh,
Was that a butterfly ballot?
Michael said I would pick Capital Cities, which I did, so he gets a point. And his reasoning was it was on my mix album, which it was.
It was a little bit of a giveaway, just a
little
touch
bit.
that you were a fan of that.
Yeah,
So that
I
puts the
think-
score.
I think there's actually a YouTube video that exists of me talking about each song that is on that mix album, and I'm pretty sure that somewhere in that video I said that I liked the Capital Cities version better. So I feel like this is cheating on your part.
Oh, well, you put it on the list of potential cover songs, so
Yeah, this is true.
You did it to yourself.
I
Sir.
only have myself to blame. I did throw it in the hopper.
By the way, speaking of our list of potential cover songs, if there is a song that you would like us to talk about on the show, a song that's been covered by another artist, let us know because we're always looking for new additions to the Hoppa.
Yeah, throw it down in the comments. We'll check it out.
Absolutely. And
If you hate our show, throw that in the comments too, and we'll probably actually address it in
yeah,
a future
we'll
episode.
probably talk about it on air because we love hate comments.
Yeah,
Seriously, it makes
yeah.
us feel like a real YouTube show.
If you love our show, then we'd like to meet you because
Yeah.
we haven't found
Let's have a
any
beer
of those yet.
together.
Yeah.
It seems
Yeah,
it'd be good.
law of averages.
Yep.
They have to exist somewhere, right?
Somewhere, somebody's got to like the show.
Yeah.
So that puts the current score up to 10-7 now.
Yeah. Back down by 3 again.
Yeah, there's always next week.
That's true.
And you can catch us again next week here on the Permanently Geek channel. If you enjoyed what you saw on this episode, please subscribe. There are lots of other good shows, and there's us. So we will see you next week. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you around. Try to decide which is the better of the two. My name is Michael McFarlane. Oh,
Yes! I
you
killed
got
him.
me. You got me. You got. Now I'll have to do that all over again. The show where we continue, where we continue to say the wrong thing. God damn it.
Strike 2.